Good morning and welcome to Plannercraft. My name is Ian and I'm doing today's stream for you. Just getting up so I can see comments. There we go. So, good morning. Today we're doing something a little bit different. You may notice the desk looks a little different this morning. Thank you, Tracy. So today we have the laser cutter on the desk. So this one's been hiding for a while. I've got a self-healing mat underneath. Morning Deb, morning Thea, morning Joyce. Morning Carol, thank you. Thank you Deb. So we have the laser cutter out and we're going to be doing a design. So first of all, the first thing I need to do is adjust my laser height on this one. Because the piece of wood I'm using, so the chopping board, that's what it is, that we're going to be cutting, is one I got from Pound Shop. It's not expensive. I think it was £1.15. I got a couple of them in case we managed to destroy one, and which, given that I'm doing the stream, is every likely. So, the first thing you need to do, obviously this is quite a thick piece, I don't know if you can see. So it's quite a thick piece of wood. So normally my laser is quite low to the ground because it's only usually paper or card that I'm cutting. So the idea is it's supposed to have 2mm clearing of the whatever you're engraving. So I have a nice ruler here, which just happens to be 2mm. So I'll bring my laser back, you should be able to see it in a moment, and across. I just have to adjust the height. So I have an Allen key, and we just undo, there's two little screws at the side, which allow to move. You see those just drop down a little bit, because the last thing I had was a little bit high. If you want to move it up, just move that underneath. And you want that to sit. And the back bracket can rest onto the ruler at the back, and that gives it a bit of a resting point. So then you can take the roller out, and then that should easily move across our design without any hassle. So the laser cutter we got from a company called Banggood. It does come from China. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get here, and you have to put it together yourself. It's very funky. We've had lots of fun playing with it and doing lots of trials and errors. I would recommend a well ventilated room, so I have both windows open this morning to try and get a bit of fresh air in, because obviously it just generates smoke and as it's burning and engraving. So I'm going to pop that back on there. And the other thing I would recommend is when you get if you can get a piece of wood that matches your mat. So this one does 410 by 400, so it's quite a big base frame. And get it to print like a grid so you have a reference. So at the moment I'm doing it all by eye today, which is always a novel trick. That I will show you what we plan on. Thank you, Linda, and thank you everybody for the birthday wishes. Nat would be in here, but we only have the one pair of safety goggles. So although you won't need them, I have a pair of lovely green safety goggles which I have to wear when using the laser cutter, and we only have the one pair at the moment. So use those. So I'm just going to switch over to the computer and put on what we're going to be cutting out today, or what we're going to be engraving. So this is the design that we're looking at, and it's nice and simple, nice Merry Christmas. I've sort of gone roughly for the middle of the mat area, so this one does lay out your mat for the size that your cutter is. So we have it down here already, which is 0, 0, which is our homing point, and this is roughly middle of mat. So we will see. The advantage is in a moment we can use what's known as the frame at the side here, and that will frame where it thinks it is, and then once it's done that, I can line it up to be over the chopping board. So it's sort of a bit of a, not so much a guessing game, but a bit more controlled. You can actually see roughly where it is. We have got it on fill and line, so it will fill, and it shows, if I show you roughly what that does. So if we go to preview, the red lines in the background are what the laser moves, and the black lines is what it's going to fill. So it's going to do it all nicely, and that's what we should end up on our. It does say the bottom black lines are cuts, red lines are moved between the cuts. And if you do want to sit and watch it do it, you can, but it on here just to see how it works, but it just shows you how the laser's going to do it. And it says it's going to take about 16 minutes, so once that's going, if there's any questions or anything like that, we can go to there. So we go, okay. So the size here I've already sized to fit. It's an SVG, it imports lots of different file formats. It takes, I'm using a program called Lightburn, which is the one. There are others available. If you're on a PC, there's a couple of others that you can use. But this runs on a GRBL system, or Gerbil for short. And it's quite good. So I said, it gives you lots of different design ideas, and it takes virtually every format: PDFs, SVGs, DXF files, TIFFs, PNGs, JPEGs, it takes all that sort of files. It takes all of those, and you just import it, and then you can pop that onto your bit of wood, or whatever you're putting it onto. Let's see what we've got on here for pounds and count. So the speed is 100 millimeters a second. Power, might put the power up a bit, because but I'm still getting used to this. Minimum interval 0.1. Do 2 passes. 31. We'll see if we can do it on one pass, because it will burn the wood on one pass. So. 100 millimeters per second. That should be okay. So our next trick is to turn on the laser cutter, and then we can have a look at how that goes. So apologies if I'm missing any comments at the moment. And the noise of the fan, it is a little bit noisy, but it's not too bad. So this one's going to be interesting now, because I want to show you what we do. So down here we have the frame button, and if I switch back to overhead, you'll see what it does. So I go back to the overhead, and I click frame, and it draws a square where it thinks, or where it is on the mat in comparison to where it is. So now I've got that, I can actually try not to knock it. Move this down and across a little bit, and then we can go frame again. That's not too far. go. Maybe tight. My measurement might be off. I'm going to have to shrink it. The program, no, it is a program that's an additional cost. I think for the full license of Lightburn it's about £30. There are free ones available on PC that you can get, but the one I use, it cost us £30 for the license. So I may have to shrink that a little bit because I think it's a bit big still. So let's drop that down to 85. Let's see if that does any better. It's that top edge that's getting me. It seems to be a bit... Like I said, it's very much trial and error because we don't have the grid on here. That's better. That should be about right. So just to show you on the display. So with this one you can set how it cuts, but I've got it so it cuts whatever I have selected. So I have my layer selected that I'm going to be cutting. And then we just press start. So I'm going to put on my safety glasses. Make the world go green, as it does. And then we're going to press start, and then I'll flick over so you can watch the laser cutter cut. So we press start, and we go back to it. So as you can see, it's already starting to put the design in. So this is going to take about 16 minutes in total. But what I do love about the laser is the attention to detail, so it will do very, very intricate cuts very easily. We did a butterfly, we did it when we first started playing, out of paper, and the detail it cut out of that paper was amazing. It was so intricate. Does anybody have any questions at the moment about the laser cutter? Yeah, so it's a bit like pyrography with on the wood, yeah. Apart from it's using a laser rather than actually touching the wood, if that makes sense. With pyrography, it tends to be that you draw and burn it into the wood, as well with the laser, it just does it from a height. And obviously a bit more accurate as well, because it's almost like the scan and cut version of your pyrography. So it's a laser done automatic, so it's a bit more accurate, shall we say. Yes, it will. It can cut out. Obviously, that wood at the moment is a bit thick because that wood is about 5 or 6 mil thick, and to burn through that, you'd be there quite a while. Even on full power, it would take probably 20 to 25 passes just to get through the wood. But on paper, it cuts amazing detail. We've cut stencils on it out of mylar. We've cut chipboard pieces that there was a project Nat did with the lollipops, and I cut a load of lollipop sticks out of 3mm chipboard, like the grey board. So it did a load of those for us, and it's just a case of getting your settings right. The settings take a bit of playing with. This one didn't particularly come with many reasonable instructions. Is the only downside that I had from the company. It is an investment, and we got it on a really good price and a really good deal. But the quality on it is fantastic. I think this is a 30 watt laser on it as well. So it's the higher powered lasers. A lot of them only come with like 10 or 20 watt lasers. And we got the slightly higher powered one. But slow and steady is definitely better than trying to make it go fast. The only thing we're struggling with at the moment is cutting like acrylic and stuff. We have got some to try. But again, that's where your ventilation comes in a little bit. You want it to be well ventilated, because things like your acrylics and stuff are quite pongy when you're cutting them. Your wood and your paper's not so bad, but the acrylic really does smell quite awful. And I've not quite got that right at the moment. The last time I tried it, welded itself back to itself, which, because it was taking so long to cut, as it was going round, it was cutting through it, but it was melting itself back to the plastic, so that might be where faster and more repetitions would be better than doing it just so. Yeah, it's a bit of trial and error, and I am by no means an expert of it any chance at the moment. I am still learning and still playing, but we thought we'd show it on stream as well, because it's something that we haven't shown before, and we had the opportunity of me being off today, so we thought that would be a good idea to show it. But yes, it'll cut most things. There isn't much it won't cut through. Things like your plywood, easily it'll cut through. Again, slow and repetitions I found is the answer. So things like your plywood can take 10 to 15 repetitions, but it does give a nice clean, crisp cut. The paper and cardboard that I did, you could probably do 1 to 2 repetitions on it, and it comes out with amazing detail. I don't think I've got the butterfly in here. It's back in the front room. Let me just go and grab that quickly, and I will show you what it did. I will be back. Just searching for the dragonfly I did. show you a bit of detail of how well it does, it can cut. Because the detail on it is amazing. I can't see it at the moment. Oh, there's a question. Job is going well. Unfortunately, no, Friday's not going to be a regular day off for me. It's only because I've booked it off today for my birthday. Obviously, it's our wedding anniversary tomorrow as well. So we thought a nice long weekend, just so we have it all. Together, which will be nice. You seem to have mislaid the dragonfly. Thank you. Yeah, it's 11 years this year. So. I think we've lost the dragonfly. I should have to do another one at some point. Thank you, Louise. Natty doesn't tend to play with it, so I tend to be chief laser cutter. As I said, we only have at the moment the one pair of safety goggles that came with it, so I tend to be... She lets me play with the dangerous bits. Any joy? Okay. Okay. No, it did only come with the one set. So there we go. So I can unplug that. Gets a bit more quiet. I just hang that over the top just so. No, that's not going to work either today. Give me one of those. And there we go. So that is what our laser cut. That wasn't bad actually, that's almost central. That back cylinder was done completely blind. And that's what this wonderful toy can do. I mean, that is already, it's cold enough to touch. So even though that's been going at that for 16 minutes, and that's permanently etched on there, it's not going anywhere. So isn't it? It's brilliant the way that it's just, and like I said, there's no mess. It's not, there's no residue coming off that. It's just done. And you have that lovely engraved. It's come out really well there. You can come in if you want, Matt.
Huh?
You can come in if you want. Laser is off.
Okay.
Come in and see what we did.
Let's have a look. Cool. That's cool. I like that. Spot on.
Don't have the space, but yeah, it is a big beast. I must admit. I mean, because the inner frame is 400 by 410. The outer frame then goes outside of that, so you're looking a space. I mean, we've got this on a meter desk. I think it's 60 that way, is it? It's about that, isn't it? It's about 60 centimetres that way, and it just fits on.
Yes,
it is
just on the desk.
It's just on the desk. The edges and the bits are just on the edge. So it's very tight onto the desk. Like I said, they are an investment as well. They're not cheap.
I like it.
That's it.
Oh, your chief laser cutter. Yep, definitely.
Yeah. That's why I hid the other pair of glasses, and it only came with one.
No, I'm sure it was supposed to come with two, but yeah, it only
I
came with
think
one.
they were additional buy, weren't they?
Yeah.
At the time, one was enough. Size of washing machine. Yeah, it's about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are huge.
Just check that I haven't missed anything.
I don't think so. Louise said hi to Michael, but I haven't seen anything from Michael, so I didn't see.
Who's Michael?
Yeah, who's Michael? Hello, if I didn't see you, I apologise.
I was going to say, I can't see anything coming up on there, but...
So that is my short and sweet stream for you today.
So were you brave and show me how to resize and things in the software?
I had to resize it because when I was doing the thing it looked too big.
Yeah. So
we started to shrink it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was showing that we did the frame on it to... I need to my washing machine. It's not the depth of a washing machine, it could sit on top of a washing machine.
Yeah, if you're that stuff.
Hypothetically, you could sit it on top of a washing machine and then it would rest.
It will fit on the coffee table as well, won't it?
Yeah, it fits on our lap coffee table as well, quite nicely on there with the laptop next to it, because it's got a bit more space. This one runs off USB, so it's a bit of a... You have to have the USB cable plugged in, but it's, like I said, it's good fun. It is quite a...
Learning curve.
Learning curve, yes. I found.
If you think the
scan and cut stuff.
if you think the scan and cut's got an uphill learning curve, then laser is a whole different ball game.
I've seen smaller ones, so I don't know how they good though. But yeah, there are smaller. I originally went for this size thinking that I could use it on the foil shield and maybe
cut it out
cut
instead
it
of
out.
printing it.
For the reason that's why I've gone for the bigger bed, because obviously your 12 by 12 is 305 by 305. So that's the reason I went for the bigger base, with the bigger bed on it.
Also means that we can do things like 12 by 12 chipboard, grey board.
Yeah.
Wood that isn't too thick.
Yeah.
We steer clear of things like MDF because of the fumes.
Yeah, I did
Because
say about the
You need
amount
like
of smoke
a
and stuff.
ventilation system.
Yeah. I said about printing the grid as well. It's one of the first things. Oh, thank you, Louise. She shared it on the page. And jigsaw puzzles, yeah, yes, your jigsaw puzzle was cut with the laser.
Yeah, the bottom bit, if you look at it closely, the bottom bit, which is board, was cut with the laser, and the top bit was cut with the scanning cut, so you can see the differences in the cuts. So one thing I would say is when you do your cut line, if you are doing something like that, just bear in mind that the cut line on your scanning cut will be much narrower compared to when you are doing it with a laser cut. So I actually went round each jigsaw piece, Carol, with an embossing tool to actually round off the edges nicely.
But yes,
Which was a nice long process,
yeah.
wasn't it?
But yes, jigsaw puzzles, anything like that, are all brilliant. I mean, like I said, we've got some other bits of wood we might play with in a bit now, and it's set up on the desk just over.
Yeah. You were just waiting to have a time where you could play with it on a desk, weren't you?
Yeah.
Now, especially now I've pinched your other one.
You've pinched me desk.
Yeah. The other thing is if you're doing things like grey board, flat wood pieces for cutting, just bear in mind the burn pattern. So whether you want to cut from the back, if you don't want that kind of burnt look to the front, and also if
Masking
you're
tape.
yeah, masking tape.
I forgot to do. I must admit, I forgot to do, and I just cut it straight onto the wood. But you can put masking tape over the top to help.
Can you change the colour to make it darker? Yes, you
Just
can.
turn the power up.
You turn the power up or do more.
Yeah, I'll do it a couple of times over the top. So as where I saw the repetitions, I only put it down to 1. If I'd have put that up to 3, that would have been a much deeper.
And it will also actually go into the surface as you're doing each pass.
Yeah.
Is the other thing to bear in mind.
But what I didn't want to do is obviously leave it for next. Yeah. But as long as you don't move it, if I'd have moved it and picked it up, you could have sent it round again, and you could have done it straight over the top again, and it would have cut it a bit deeper. It would have done another layer over the top. So there's lots of things that you can play with, and
Yeah.
there isn't there.
The only thing that we haven't found that works is acrylic. That was a
Yeah,
no.
I already said that about it melting and
Yeah, that
sticking
didn't work.
itself back to it. But it'll get there. So I will leave you there for today. I'm going to try and enjoy some of my birthday and get some lunch.
Yep.
Mm.
Has it just slightly indented the wood?
No.
It's very.
It hasn't. It is
It's-
literally.
Singed it, hasn't it?
It's just literally burnt the top layer.
So even pyrography won't get it that flat.
Yeah. There is no indent on that whatsoever. That is still smooth across the top to touch.
So if you wanted to just varnish it and use that as a chopping board, you could do.
Yeah.
Whereas
There's no
if it was
indent, it's not
indented,
bumpy,
you probably
it's just-
wouldn't.
Smooth. So they're very cool. Like I said, it is quite a thick chopping board as well, so you wouldn't burn through it if that makes sense. Eat cake.
Yeah. That's turned out really well. I like that, Ian.
Yeah, I like it as well. Yeah. Got another one to do there. Might have another go to
Yeah.
bit deep, bit darker, and try a different colour maybe. A different
Yeah, so
design.
did you say where you got the chopping board from?
I did.
Cool.
Yep, and how much I paid for it.
Food safe resin or gloss. Yeah, anything that is food safe.
Yeah, see, Mod Podge, isn't it? You can get the food safe one, can't you?
You can get the dishwasher safe. I don't know.
Mm.
I'm not sure if that's food safe or not, so do check.
No, okay.
Do check. I would think being dishwasher safe it would have to be food safe, but
Just in
always
case.
double check.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking, that they'd be perfect for Christmas gifts.
Mm.
So one of the things that we wanted to do this year that we haven't quite got round to is actually having a little shop with all these bits in.
Mm. Yeah.
have you mentioned about design bundles?
No.
Okay. So up on the group, I've put a link to all the $1 deals for Black Friday, which are available on design bundles, including the file that Ian used today. So you'll be able to find those on there. And yes, it is an affiliate link and help support with what we do. There are also some other Black Friday deals. The ones that have the hashtag ad at the top are affiliate links. The ones that don't are just things that I've seen that I think you'll like. But yes, we've had a fair bit of fun with it already, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's a shame we can't find the dragonfly, because the dragonfly is just like, wow. Because you can do like lacy effects in card and it's brilliant.
Mm. Yeah, it cuts almost like lace, doesn't it, when you get the paper. And I mean,
it was only American Crash card stock.
Yeah. It wasn't expensive card or thick card in particular. That's all right. So
it's nice to show you something different, isn't it?
It is.
And it's been waiting for a while, hasn't it, for us
it
to
has.
be confident enough with it to
I don't
bring
know,
it on.
able as well. I mean, we've not really had the space or the...
No. If you do decide to get one, have you said about the setup?
Well, put it together yourself. And
Yes,
yeah.
because it is self-assembly. In
These
the
ones
truest
are.
sense of the word, it comes in pieces. So,
a lot of them do, though. A lot of them you have to put together yourself. So.
Yeah. So
Just
if
be
you
careful
do
with
need
that.
help, then do reach out. Having done it, and you know, I've done that, got the t-shirt.
Right, what are my dragonflies called?
I don't know where your
I don't
dragonfly's gone. It's vanished into thin air. It's such a shame, because it's a
Blown
lovely
away.
example.
We'll find it. It'll turn
Yeah.
up.
Give that one, make another one over the weekend.
I said that, I'd cut another one to it again.
Yeah.
So thank you all very much for joining me. Thank you for the birthday wishes and the anniversary wishes. They always say happy anniversary as well. Because Carol asked if Friday was going to be my regular day off. I'm not that lucky, am I?
No. Do you have to have an IKEA degree to put it together? I think we have an IKEA degree anyway, don't we? Because the amount of IKEA on furniture we've
The
got.
instructions were quite good, to be honest.
And there was a video that you could watch as well.
Yeah, and a video as well. So, you know, it was... I wouldn't say the IKEA degree, it was just one of those that... It takes about an hour to put it all together and to make sure you got it all right. But they supply you everything to do it. They supply you with the Allen keys and all the bits and...
The actual laser head's already assembled, so you
Yeah,
don't
so you
have to
worry
do
about
that
that.
bit.
The only bit you attach to the laser head is the guard on the front.
Yeah, so that's nice and simple. But there are some units out there that come with enclosures already and
Yeah.
ventilation and...
The smaller ones tend to be built when they come, so you don't have to worry about having them built.
Yeah.
Building them, I should say.
Okay, so did you go into software and what you
Yeah,
were
I showed
using?
the software, I showed Lightburn and the 30,
Okay.
like I said about the license fee on it, because it's obviously it's a £30 license fee, but it's an excellent piece of kit. It
Yeah.
does everything you need it to.
Okay, so we'll say bye-bye for now. Have fun. And keep an eye on the group over the weekend, as if I see any cool offers, I'll pop them up on there. And likewise, when he does his dragonfly or any other bits, we'll put them up on there. And if there's something that you would like, then reach out, and I'm sure we'll quite happily work out a price.